Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anthony Adibaya, and today we'll be talking about another interesting topic, which is how to start your career in software engineering. Yeah. So today we are going to be discussing this very important topic, and I want you guys to take this very serious. And if you know you're new here, click on the like button and subscribe to my channel. I will be sharing a lot of content. So you must have been wondering, how can I start my career in software engineering? There are a lot of materials, resources out there, and I just thought that I should give my own opinion on how to kickstart your career in software engineering. So today, I'll be dropping some few points and I feel you should take notes. This can be very helpful for you along the line in your career. So I want you to make sure you take some notes down or find a way to save this video so you can watch this video over and over again, depending on where you are in your career. So what is software engineering? Software engineering is a disciplined and systematic approach to designing, testing, and maintaining system software. So you might be asking, why choose software engineering? Yes, software engineering currently is in high demand, and if you expect competitive salary, and yes, there are endless opportunities that you can actually explore when it comes to software engineering. You can never get wrong. You can either work for yourself, work for company, start your own company, and do a lot of things when it comes to software engineering. And you can also, maybe when you become very good, you can also create content for other software engineers. So what are the ways you can learn about software engineering? You can take a formal degree, like go to school, study maybe computer science or software engineering or any related field to software engineering. So that's a way. So you can actually self-learn software engineering, but it requires a lot of learning from your own end. You must be ready to, even if you decide to go for a course, maybe a computer science or any course, you will still have to do some kind of self-learning. So, but I want you to know that you can actually say self-learn, but the easiest part or the easier way is to actually take a degree in the university. That's a good way to kickstart your career. Now, let's talk about some advantages and disadvantages of the two, either going for a degree or self-learning. One of the major advantages of going for a degree is that you get to dive deep into some of the best software engineering practices. You get to meet people while you're on campus. You learn easily that way. You learn to meet people that share the same mindset or that have the same goal as you, and it's very easy because you have lecturers or people to guide you and point you to the right direction, right? And I think the disadvantage of self-learning, at times you might get discouraged, probably because you are not seeing people that are doing something of interest or people that share similar interests with you. It's a bit tricky, so you might want to weigh the two options. Self-learning is very possible, but getting a degree, to me, I feel it's safer and easier. Depending on you, I feel if you put in your best and you're determined to acquire this particular skill, you will definitely come out victorious. So now so I don't know, let me think of another disadvantage for you. I feel having a degree is very important. There are some job roles that will require that you have a degree in computer science or any other related field to get a job. So it's very important. So in our current age now, it might not be very important, but in some roles or in some companies, it's very important that you have a degree before you apply for some of these jobs. The advantage of self-learning is that you get to learn at your own pace. You get to learn at your own pace. I remember I said, even if you go to the university for a degree, you still have to do some kind of self-learning in a way, because you'll be given assignments, you need to do some research, you need to learn more about things that you've told in school, right? But when you are self-learning, you go at your own pace. You don't need any lecturer to give you any assignments. Depending on you, you can decide to go for a 3-month boot camp or pay for an online training that takes about 100 of hours, and you keep learning. You go at your own pace. So I think that's one advantage, right? You don't need to maybe next you need to have maybe spend about 4 years before you acquire the same skill, right? But like I said, they both have their own pros and cons. So I would love you to check online, do more research about which of this part. I think with those little points, I feel you should think about which one makes sense, going for a degree or deciding to self-learn. I want to mention one thing. Self-learning, like I said, can be very tricky, while it can be very fast and it can take a longer time, right? Like I said, you are going at your own pace. So let's say you have a course that is supposed to take you about 1 month. You can decide to spend 1 year learning the same thing, right? So it can take a longer time. So it can take a longer time. So you want to make sure that you are very serious, and you can get distracted easily. That's I think that's one major disadvantage of self-learning. You can get discouraged easily. You can get distracted. Yeah, you can get distracted easily. So you can get distracted very easily. So you want to make sure that you either go for, I think getting a degree, it's easier, but I know it's also very possible, depending on you. If you're very serious, you don't allow anything to distract you, you stay focused, I'm sure you either of the way, either way you go or either way you choose, you cannot miss it. Depends on you. You can actually get a degree, you can actually go to university to acquire some of these skills, and at the end of the day, you have nothing to show for, probably because you are on serious while on campus or for any other reason. So that's another thing I want to also consider. So acquiring these skills is kind of solely dependent on you. It takes dedication, a lot of seriousness, and a lot of reading. It requires a lot of reading, learning code, and implementing whatever skills you have learned. So one very important part of software engineering is programming, and you can't tell me you're a software engineer why you don't write code. It's not possible. I don't even think it's possible. If it's possible, please write in the comment section for me. You are a software engineer and you don't write code, you don't know how to write code, you don't even know about programming. I doubt if that's possible. So for me, I believe that some of the programming languages that you need to learn for software engineering include some of the most popular programming languages that you can find out there: Python, JavaScript, Java, C#, C++, all of that. But you don't necessarily need to learn everything. You can explore. I always advise people to explore. You can explore some of them and see the advantage and disadvantage of some of them. Some of them have some limitations, not necessarily disadvantages, right? Some of them have limitations, so you might want to explore them and learn about their limitations and the advantages of each one of them. So you don't actually need to explore too many, right? You can just pick Java and spend about a year in Java, or spend a couple of, and the interesting part about learning a programming language is that once you are very good with one, it's very easy for you to understand others. So let's say you spend about 6 months or 7 months learning Java or Python, you can transfer some of this knowledge while you're learning. I think the syntax, whatever you'll be learning basically in the other programming language will be the syntax, how this is done here. Programming, it's not really about the syntax, right? It's your problem solving capability, right? I think that's what makes you a good programmer. Either of the choices you go from, be it degree or self-learn, you can start by using some of the skills you've acquired probably from courses or while you're on campus to build some mini projects. You can build a simple Java application that mimics an ATM, for example. That can be a very simple project you can start with. So you can recreate some of the existing games that you're aware of. That can also be a good way to start. So other thing you want to do is to tell people about your skill. Let's say you spent about a year or 2 years learning about software engineering, maybe exploring Java, building a desktop application, building mobile applications, or web application, depending on which part you decide to go for. I think it's very important that you tell people about your skills. From there, you can start making some very little income. You can also contribute to open source projects. That way, you can learn more, and other people will review your code, and you understand how things are done. I think another way is also internship. So after you've acquired some of these little skills, and you've already maybe done some little projects on your own, think about some problems that you want to solve, probably in your home or in your community. Try to solve some of those problems with your programming skills, and that way you will see how the skills you've learned can be useful in the real world. It can be a paid internship or a non-paid internship. It doesn't really matter. You can apply for some of those internships, and that way you get to work in the industry. You get to see how some of these things are being used in the market. You get to see how your skills can be very helpful in the market. So it might be a bit difficult to get jobs while you have very little professional experience, but with internships, you get to learn with internship, because the expectation for an intern is that you don't have the skill, you want to acquire the skill. Another important factor is community. I believe that even to help you grow faster, community will play a major role, an important role in your career, communities you're a part of. You can join communities, participate in hackathons, go for physical events, join online events to help you acquire more knowledge about yourself, to even help you answer some of the questions that you want to answer. From joining communities and attending events, that way you connect with other people, and that can actually boost your career. It will help you see what you're actually doing, what you're learning, and how they too have implemented things they've learned in the real world. And some of them might be working in maybe big companies, or maybe not necessarily big companies. You can get to learn about what they do in their company, the technology they use, and how this has been affecting their market, maybe positively or negatively. You get to learn about some of the latest trends. So networking and connecting with other people is actually very important. So another important factor is building your portfolio. Having a very strong portfolio can actually help you boost your career, because this is where people get to go to see some of the work you've actually done in the past, to see if they can actually hire you. And even if you're building your own personal profile or personal company, you want to have a strong portfolio out there, because people will not want to invest in you if they don't know how capable you are. To have a strong portfolio, you want to make sure that some of your work are visible on GitHub. People can see some of the things you've done. Having a great portfolio is actually very important to your success. It will help you in many ways that you cannot even imagine. So how can you have a strong portfolio? It includes having good GitHub repositories. Some of your side projects that you've worked on, make sure you upload them to GitHub, let people see it. Build libraries. If you have enough time, build libraries that are reusable or that are useful to other developers. Building a website that help people see what you've done is also very important. You want people to see what you've done, some of your side projects, and you want to showcase it on your website. Having a good resume is also very important, because it tells about you, speaks about you. It helps recruiters understand your capabilities, some of your skills, your old project or your old experience, and it helps them decide if you're a good fit for whatever role you're applying for. And a good way to structure your resume is introduction about yourself, your experience, and some other skills that you have. Your experience can entail some of the side projects you want to talk about, the skill you acquire in that particular project, problem you're trying to solve, the technology you used, and how you're able to solve some of those problems. You might also want to drop some metrics. Oh, you're able to boost this, you're able to do this. Your CV entails your experience, your work experience, companies you've worked with, the internship program you've done. These are things you submit along with your website while applying for jobs. So another important thing that will help you in your career is building soft skills. building soft skills. Soft skills are very important. It's not about learning how to code or learn how to build the next great project. It's not enough. It's not enough to solve problem, right? You want to make sure that you have soft skills. Soft skills are very important. You need to learn how to interact with people, how to relate with your colleague, some skills that recruiters are looking for while you're applying for a job. It's very important that you can work in a team. You don't want to be the kind of person that cannot work with a team. You want to develop skills that will help to communicate very well with your team members, or help you explain yourself better and help you resolve issues better. Those skills are very important. If you don't have some of those skills, it can be very difficult for you to work in a team. You want to also make sure that your problem solving skills is great. This is not about programming, how you approach problem and how you solve them. Yeah, right. Programming is not just about writing code, right? So aside from some of those technical skills, you want to make sure that you have good soft skills that help you excel among your colleagues or among people while you're applying for jobs. And it's very important that you develop those skills. Another thing that will help you in your journey is staying updated. Staying updated is very, very important. You want to make sure that you are updated in your maybe in the programming language you're using, in the latest trend in technology. Recently, you've heard about GTP, AI this, AI that. These are the things you want to make sure you're always updated about the next thing. It can be maybe in in the language you're using. This is actually very important because the tech world is constantly changing. You want to make sure that you are always updated. You're reading some of those new letters. You're watching some of those latest videos about technologies, and you're also doing some research. Whatever programming language you choose, you can follow. Almost all of them have their own communities that you can follow. Stay up to date on YouTube videos that talk about those technology you're interested in. It's very important. That's a way to keep growing. So another thing that will help you in your career is specialization. You want to make sure that you are focused on some particular aspect. You don't necessarily need to know everything to become a good software engineer. You don't necessarily need to know everything to become a good software engineer. You want to make sure that you focus on parts or areas that interest you. And you can also acquire certifications on this thing. There are free certifications that you can acquire online. You can also pay to get certified, maybe in areas that you're interested in, maybe cloud computing, maybe game development, maybe desktop development, web development, anything that you feel you have interest in. You want to make sure that you focus on a particular part and don't get distracted. It's very easy to get distracted because there are so many things you can explore out there, but you want to make sure that you explore as much as possible, but you also want to make sure that you specialize on one. You don't want to be jumping from one technology to another technology. It's not really ideal because each one of them can be wide. You want to make sure that you are focused on a single career path. If you stay to this point in this video, definitely you've learned one or two things, or you learned about one or two things that can help you kickstart your career as a software engineer. I want to highlight some few points. Determine if you're getting a degree or you want to self-learn. That's very important. While you self-learn or take a degree, make sure you take on projects that can help you build a very strong portfolio. Make sure you focus on having a strong portfolio, and that way it helps you secure some jobs or internship roles, which is very important. Make sure you network and interact with other developers. It's very important. You want to make sure that you either join a tech community or you go to tech events that can actually help you learn more about things you've learned, or answer some of the questions that you need to get answered. So the fifth thing I mentioned is having soft skills. Soft skills is very important. It's not enough to acquire all this knowledge without having soft skills. Soft skills is very important. You need to learn how to work with a team, how to interact with other people, improve your problem solving skills and the rest. So I hope that you've learned one or two things from this video. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, I want you to click on subscribe button, like this video, and drop some comments. And if you have other tips, if you are here, maybe you're a senior software engineer or you're a principal software engineer, you have maybe a great deal of experience in software engineering too, please, you can drop the comment for other people so this can also help them in their journey. Thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. I really appreciate you. Please don't forget to subscribe and share this video for other people that you think this video will be useful for. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.